Moving on to the next session, which is on Defeat the Status Quo, Marketing for Tomorrow's World. People today prefer tailored experiences that speak directly to their needs and interests at any given time instead of being marketed to them. The secret to success in the future will be to challenge the established quo by bidding goodbye to conventional marketing strategies. To do this, you must incorporate personalization, automation, and predictive analytics into your daily strategy. This session by Samina Chowdhury will help you learn how to do it in real time. Let's hear it for Samina, everyone. She is top agent, partner, and luxury home marketing agent at Keller Williams Lucido Agency. Take it away, Samina.
Hello, everyone. I'm Samina Chowdhury, and I'm here to talk about Defeat the Status Quo, Marketing for Tomorrow's World. I have been fortunate in my career to be able to reach a level of success that most agents are striving for. And I'm here to talk about how I did it. More importantly, I want everyone here to know that anyone can do this. I did not create any genius program, nor am I uniquely special. All I did was I figured out my authentic self, who I am, where I come from, and which allowed me to do business differently. Defeating the status quo. We have been doing marketing, especially in my field, real estate, in one way for decades now. And if we keep on doing that, we will be obsolete in the next 3 or 4 years. So to break that status quo, we have to market ourselves in a different way, target communities who today we want to get their attention in a different angle, like using social media, print ads, postcards, newsletters. Those days are gone. If there's anything that we can still retain from yesterday's marketing, if there's one thing that I would retain in today's world or tomorrow's world, that's handwritten notes. Because handwritten notes, they touch you emotionally, which is difficult to get in print ads. And it's just another notch besides the social media or events, what we do to keep ourselves in the forefront of our clientele. Before I dive in deeper, let me just tell you a little bit about me. As you know, I am the top agent for Keller Williams Lucido Agency, the #1 Keller Williams team in the world. And I have been fortunate to be featured in a lot of print like Forbes, Yahoo, Top 100 magazine, Baltimore Real Producers magazine, New York Weekly. These are just a few that I can name. And recently I did a TEDx talk. Now, how I got to where I am today. I'm a first-generation immigrant. I came to this country 30 years ago. I went through the process of what every first-generation immigrant goes through, which is I came to this country with a dream to improve my life or my lifestyle. And I left behind my family, my roots, and took with me my culture and heritage that I grew up with and came to this new country. So I went through the process of trying to find my American dream. And today I help people find theirs. When I became a real estate agent, the one thing that I asked myself was that I'm in Maryland. in Maryland. Today, there are 12,000 real estate agents that practice in Maryland. Why would they pick Samina? What makes me unique? That's where I came up with what makes me unique is I tap into people's culture and heritage and fit it into today's American homes. That was my mantra, that I'm going to go for that. That was my niche community. I'm going to go for that first generation Americans moving to this country. I know how I did it, and I know the path how to do it, and I'm going to show them how to do it. Which led to all the accolades I received so far. I helped people understand that just because they left their roots, their country, doesn't mean that they have to sacrifice their heritage and the culture. When I show them houses, I tell them how the lifestyle that they lead in their houses, I show them how that lifestyle can still fit into today's American homes. I'll give you an example. My main niche communities are the Indian community, the Bangladeshi community, Pakistani community, and the Middle Eastern community. I speak 5 languages. I speak all of those countries. I speak their languages. So right there, speaking their language is a sense of comfort for them in a new country. And then to tell them, like for somebody who is from the Middle East, they're looking at a house. In the Middle Eastern cultures, they like to have women and men sit in different areas of the house when they call people. So when I'm taking them through the house, I show them this is where the women can sit, this is where the men can sit. So I'm having them picture their lifestyle they grew up with in this country in a new home. So that's what makes me unique. In the Indian culture, I tap into what most people know as Feng Shui. In India, they call it Vastu. So I tap into the Vastu aspect of it and show them that all the Vastu aspects are met in certain houses, and they can tap into the elements in each house. And if it works for them, we go for that house. So that's what makes me unique, and people appreciate that I make it very easy for them because I understand that. I know how important it is for their culture and their family, that I understand it, and I use that to leverage my business. Breaking the status quo. So there is the traditional way, which is postcards, newsletters, print ads, newspapers. All that is, I feel, is slowly becoming obsolete. People now more than ever in our field tap into Zillow, Redfin, or they look at the Facebook internet ads for houses, listings, and they touch base with agents online before they even start going to see houses in person. So how to get these clients online and get away from the traditional way, that's what I'm going to show you. And how to keep my brand and my services in front of them is what I'm going to show you. First one is press. And I will tell you right now that there's less than 1% of real estate agents in this country that has what we call a press kit. What is a press kit? A press kit is something those of you who do like marketing in newsletters, in newspapers or magazines, or even tap into people who are hosts for podcasts. They want to know who you are before they can interview you. So to have that press kit ready for them and to contact, I have a list of 30, 40 journalists or reporters or even podcast hosts that I tap into consistently to tell them that, hey, if you need me to talk on a few topics in real estate, I'm here for you. Leverage my competence to tell you what the market is providing. And some of them they do and some of them don't. I kept on trying. When I started doing the press, pushing myself, my brand with the press, I kept trying to tell them that, look, I can talk about the market statistics, I can talk about what's going to happen in the market in 6 months, I can talk about certain aspects of a transaction, use my knowledge to give you what the audience wants. Lo and behold, I got my first chance, believe it or not, was a reporter who called me and said that, hey, I want to interview you for USA Today magazine. So he took my interview, and at the end of the interview, he tells me, I have to tell you something. After listening to what you had to say, I don't think I'm going to put you in USA Today magazine. Do you mind if I put you in Forbes? So my first print, my first article was Forbes. What did I do? I leveraged that. So all those other people who have been trying to say, hey, ask me, I'm here, interview me, I went back to them and said, hey, by the way, I just got Forbes. Do you think now I qualify for your magazine or your newspaper? And slowly I started to get other magazines and newspapers and even podcast hosts to interview me. And I continue to do that even today. I leverage every one of them. Recently, in fact, November, my TEDx talk came out. My topic was the 3 principles of communication. And these 3 principles I gathered through my experience living in the US and looking at it from a perspective of an immigrant. The culture in the US versus the culture that I came from, how they differ, and how communication can connect the world at a greater rate through the 3 principles that I discussed in my TEDx. I welcome you to watch it, the 3 principles of communication. Community engagement. Recently, I was on stage. I just talked about all the events that I did, I hosted. And these events help me put my face to the name. People hear the name Samina Chowdhury, but when I do these community engagements, they see my face and they connect the name to it. They connect the face to the name. So, and people say, so you are Samina Chowdhury. We've heard a lot about you. Today we see you. Today we meet you. I do a lot of events with different religious, like mosques or churches. Even there, I meet a lot of people. That helps me grow my network consistently. Business to business relationships. So where a typical agent in Maryland, if I were a typical agent and you asked me that, Samina, where do you sell real estate? I would say I sell in Maryland. But instead, I say I'm a global agent. I market to the world. Most of you people in marketing, today you know that with internet and all these social media, the world has become very small. So why not tap into that? What I do is every country I visit, I have a relationship with a top producing agent in that country. I visited Dubai. This was a picture in Dubai where I partnered with this agent here, Farouk, and he and I, we've done transactions together. I market him, he markets me in the US. I market him in Dubai. Same thing, I sent out a referral 2 weeks ago to Portugal. I mean, I've never been to Portugal, but I sent a referral to Portugal. My team, we are in 26 states in the US, and we are in 3 states in Canada. We are in Italy. I have a relationship in Dubai, and I can find an agent anywhere in the world for anybody. So when I'm working with a client, what I tell that client is, if you have friends and family anywhere in the world and they're looking for a top real estate agent, let me know, let me do the homework and find them that agent for them. Local restaurants. So again, giving back to the community. Local restaurants, when they open, I go to them and I talk to them and say, hey, I do a lot of events. What can I do to bring more business to you? And in return, what happens is when I bring them more business, they are appreciative and they send me referrals. Today, 90% of my referrals are from not just my clients, but also business-to-business referrals. Coffee shops, places of worship, restaurants, I promote them all. Anybody moving to Maryland, if somebody is moving to Maryland, I mean, that person will want to know who is a good dentist, who is a good pediatrician for my children, who is a good CPA when I'm ready to do my taxes. I refer them all. I tell them that, hey, tap into my resources because I've done the homework for you. So when I give that referral to all these business-to-business contacts, they appreciate that. And I always leave the call saying, hey, I gave you this client, I know you'll take care of him. And by the way, I'm never too busy for your referrals. They remember that. And they send me business-to-business referrals too. Public speaking. I do public speaking. I do a lot of public speaking for Keller Williams worldwide. And because Keller Williams has this policy that top agents in the brokerage has to teach. And initially, I was a little hesitant that can I give the time? But now, I love to go and speak because that builds my confidence. And I know that if it's working for me and if it's working for the other agents, then it must be good. So not only Keller Williams asking me to speak on their behalf, I have other community gatherings that I go to. I'm here today. I've been to Dubai for Marketing 2.0. So I do public speaking consistently. This builds my networking. Today, all of you are here, and I've already made some relationships with a lot of the vendors here, a lot of the people speaking here. I've made relationships with them, and I keep growing my database like this through public speaking. Advertising. I do advertising, whether it's in social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn. Every form of advertising is a source of connection with not only your current clients, but also people who are seeing you in Maryland and outside of Maryland, rather globally. And that's what helps me grow my brand. I leverage the advertisements through that. And the status quo was created to be broken. And leverage today's marketing to grow your business, to grow your brand in a global way, so you can build an empire. I'm going to show you an ad. This is an ad I did recently to tap into my niche community.
Immigrant, I've always been passionate about helping people from different cultures see how their heritage and lifestyle can seamlessly coexist in America. I stop at nothing to provide my clients with a better life while still maintaining the culture and community that serves as their identity. I have dedicated my career to breaking the status quo and working differently. From my client concierge to our in-house architect, my bespoke level of service to my clients is unmatched. After all, my culture prides itself on hospitality and community. It's in my nature and is non-negotiable for my clients. As the co-founder of Women for Empowerment, a nonprofit empowering underserved women globally, and a proud member of the Muslim Council in Maryland, I have been a voice of change and advocate for all. Whatever your next step in life is, I'm here to help you harness your authenticity and begin that next chapter. I found my American dream. Let's find yours.
So Samina Sells is my website. I put a page there for Samina Speaks. My YouTube channel is #SellItLikeSamina. And I put a lot of videos, whether it's tutorials for my clients to watch, or house listings, or any videos that help with giving them the value of what Eric and we were talking about earlier, that, what one thing that you don't do when you're buying your first home, and then try to leverage those small videos into then listing videos, and then into videos with lenders on discussing different topics of what kind of different loan programs there are for different clientele, whether it is local or an investor client or a client who's an investor living abroad. What loan programs are there? We make sure we do videos on all that, and we try to rotate those videos in social media consistently to build more following and more database. Any questions for anybody for me?
Hello, I have one. So at the beginning you said that you don't, do I understand this, that you don't use the traditional, mailers or like flyers that real estate agents usually heavily rely on?
We do them, but now 80% of the marketing budget that I have goes towards online, and I've reduced the budget towards the traditional. The traditional is still there, but traditional, I'll tell you, the specific ones that I use is the just listed and the just solds. If I've just listed a house, I take the house and 300 homes radius, I send them a just listed house, because there could be somebody within that area that somebody's brother is moving to town, somebody's mother is moving to town. We don't know where that next buyer is coming from. So it's my job to use that print media, like the postcards for the just listed and the just sold. The just solds help me get more listings, because I use, if I can sell a house quickly, the neighbors will say, hey, Samina sold that house pretty quickly. Let's call her, because she just sent us a postcard saying she sold it quickly. The other thing that I talked about also was handwritten notes. And my handwritten notes, even though nowadays we say it's handwritten notes, but there are companies who do the handwritten notes for you and they send it for you. That not, I mean, my handwritten notes, the small notes, I do consistently with clients who I've worked with or clients I've just met. I do that handwritten notes with them, or a B2B business vendor. I do handwritten notes with them. But when it comes to, like, say, I have a client who wants a specific neighborhood, okay? They don't want any other neighborhood. That's the specific neighborhood they want to be in, and there's no listings in that neighborhood. That's when I send the letters to them that, hey, I have a buyer who's looking, and since there's nothing, these are their criteria. If your house meets these criteria, please let me know. I mean, I have had listings from there that sellers have asked me to list, even though it didn't work out for my buyer. I mean, invariably, I get 3 to 5 listings from that, believe it or not.
I do believe that. My second question is, you said that 80% of your marketing budget goes to online. So what is your favorite form of online? That's from social media to email marketing. This is broad. So what's your favorite? What do you think is most effective? Thank you.
Since we talked about LinkedIn, this is my current favorite, and I'll tell you why. I have so one of my coach, he is currently the #1 real estate agent in the country, holding the most expensive real estate listing, which is $250 million in New York. His name is Ryan Serhant. I don't know if anybody watches this show, $1 Million Listing New York. He's the star of the show. He's one of the agents in that show, and he's my coach. And he has a LinkedIn guy that does his LinkedIn stuff for him. And Jeff, his name is Jeff, and Jeff actually told me a very nice point. He's like, Samina, just go to the search bar and think about this. Where could you get an infinite amount of clientele coming, like corporate clients? You tap into HR managers in LinkedIn. So what I did was LinkedIn all the local HR managers. I started sending them messages through LinkedIn that, hey, I'm a real estate agent, and this is my resume. I would love to take you to lunch and to show you what value I bring to you. And I've taken a few HR managers to lunch, and I've started tapping into corporate referrals from there. They have people moving into Maryland. I'm there to help them. So LinkedIn is one of my favorites now, because it's business to business. It's and now recently they've added that you can do videos on LinkedIn. Before you couldn't do videos. Now I can do videos on LinkedIn. For a real estate agent, that's great. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me.